What's going on, guys? How we doing? Top of the hour. Time to light this candle. What do you say? Not sure if YouTube is working or not. Didn't want to. Oh, there it goes. Okay, we're good. All right. Let me mute that. Let me just do it for the chat. How did I do that before? I think I shrunk it down. There it is. All right. Just dealing with technical stuff. Real exciting. Let me just get adjusted here since I was missing some text yesterday. But here we go. Are we good? Let's see. All right. Yeah, I think we're set. What's going on, guys? How we doing out there? All right. Jumping back into things. One of the things I'm going to start with today is wiring up something that I hadn't even set up yet before in the Aftermath scene. That is the combining objects, which you do a lot in the intro cave, but we haven't even started doing that in the Aftermath scene. So as a result, the script is in disarray. So I need to fix that now. So yeah, I just started doing that. I was just doing that when I jumped on here with you guys. All right, combine tops. Let's see. Now I got a little cheat sheet, my little crib sheet here from the previous scene, so I don't screw this up too bad. All right, where are we at? Combine top text. That is one that's called combine top text. Let's see. Yeah, I can't find it. That should do it. All right. Ooh. Okay. Wait, how did we suddenly get... Wait, how did everything suddenly get assigned? um, okay, that's weird. Yeah. All right, yeah, I'm still in Aftermath. Okay, that is absolutely Bizarro World. I was assigning those values a second ago, and it just propagated itself. All right. Yeah. All right. Inventory, combine. Okay. Uh, Magic Elves. Let's see if it actually worked. Add the old gamepad. Yep. Uh-oh. So coroutine failed. So it's not... Well, it's... Okay, it's doing it, but it's not doing it. All right. Great start. Okay. I hear no dog barking. that's a baby tauntaun. Combine text. All right. All right, so... Yeah, so I'm just kind of scratching my head at the moment just because this is all the reworked code, which my buddy Rich redid everything to make it a lot more professional. But this is one area I have not touched on yet, so I am kind of coming at this in a very ignorant fashion. So I'm just trying to find out. Select item A. Combine. Okay, so we'll start here just to trace ourselves. This is item 1. All right. Huh. Oh, wait. Empty. Yeah, that's not good. ¿Por qué? Why is it empty? Combine one sprite name. So, for some reason, it's not actually. All right. So somewhere combine one is getting assigned. I'm just okay. Here we go. Trying to figure out where it actually is happening. Combine fail. Yeah. Back request. All right. You know what? I'll struggle with this for a few more minutes, but then I may stop down and just talk to my buddy Rich later on and figure out how the heck this code's working nowadays. That's weird. So if you're in inventory, okay, you know what? Actually, that's probably, yeah, it's in inventory. So if I try and do this, if I try and, nope, I can't use those together. Okay, so that aspect, in terms of using an inventory item, is properly working. So if I interact request, excuse me. Let's see. Aftermath use, and I don't have that. All right. So then, at this point, we no, because I know it's working because I'm able to like try and put the battery pack onto him. So item name equals item scripting name. All right, so that's where that guy is getting assigned. Okay, so then where is it happening in inventory? Let's see if he reuses that term item. An item added. No, that's not right. That's not what we're looking for. Disable. Okay. Okay. Open combine menu. Okay. So here's where we're changing between our which item. Okay. Here's where we actually open up the combine menu. Okay. Exit combine. Alright, so combine. Got that. Combine mun action. Is it a separate script? Okay, it's gonna be button X. Okay, there's select item. Oh wait, select item. That's A. So okay, right. Combine. Oh, here we go. I was close before. I was in the right spot. It was just, this is where we're getting the information from. So, inventory icons. Unless I haven't assigned the inventory icons yet. All right, we'll find out this way. There we go. Let me see if I can widen this a little bit. There you go. See it a little bit better. All right. So then if I combine, yeah, item 1 crowbar. Sweet. So that's actually correct. It's getting the right item. It's just not pasting it where it should for some reason. Okay, cool. Let's track this down. All right. So then combine 1 sprite name. So unless we're just not getting this thing set, combine 1. Yeah. So it's this guy. Combine 1. Roy. Weird. So it looks correct. All right, let's try this. So maybe it is getting displayed and it's a depth, z-depth issue on the sprite. Let's see. Guess that makes sense. Unless it's just not turning. It has to be turning on. Combine. There, it's turning on. Alright, and currently he is listed as none. If I hit that. And it's crowbar. Okay, sweet. So it is correct. It's just not showing up for some reason, which is bizarre. Got it. Because this inventory is assigned to the this is why, because this stupid window is still assigned to the intro cave. That's why the poor thing can't get to it. All right, so I gotta fix that. Let me double check the other ones as well. So let's go. Okay, wait. Inventory cave GUI Atlas. So yeah. Which one is this guy? So that was it. That would be my fault. That would definitely be my fault. All right. So we're actually closer than I thought. It's just a matter of not getting that updated. So let's just make sure I got no one else in here that's going to be a gameplay atlas. That's all good. Okay, I think, yeah, crystal pieces don't matter. I can't take that out because it's part of the, yeah, prefab. Never mind. Yeah, that crystal pieces is something from the intro cave, and it's not part of the game after that, so we should actually not have that in the prefab. Have to make a note to take that out later. One sec. Hold on. Making a note. Remove crystal pieces. And I can't type. From an inventory prefab. And we're good. Done. Okay. So let's try this again. And now, hey, look at that. Boom. Sweet. Okay. it was 99% of the way right there, the whole way. All right, so then I need to get the claw, which, by the way, if you watched the yesterday's, I moved the claw into the bucket. I'm moving the claw back here because of the way I wanted to interact with the cord above. So I do want it to be here instead. So let's get ourselves a spare claw. Uh-oh. Interesting. It didn't like that. It aired out. ¿Qué es este? Controller button. This inventory group. Oh, okay. So apparently we're still missing an assignment in here somewhere. Really? Because it looks like everything's assigned to me. Okay. GUI controller buttons, inventory. So controller buttons, which are nowhere to be found here. Inventory slot, that's correct. Okay. Yeah, crap. Control. Oh. So this maybe up in here? Let's look for somebody missing in this section. What did it say? Controller buttons. Controller buttons. It looks good to me. Oh, unless there's something in here. Yeah, he's good as well. Alright, so add inventory robot claw, which is weird because that was working before. So how did I break that now? Is it there? No. So it's not him. Okay, dispatch signal. All right, so just out of curiosity, let's see if we remark this out. Let's see if that prevents it. Trinex, where have you been? It's a long story. But I'm back, you know, almost 2 years later. Picked up a day job that sort of like killed my ability to do any streaming. And the day job, thanks to the way Hollywood has changed, is no longer a problem. So I decided to go back and jump back in here and show you guys what I've been working on. What have you been up to? Nope. Okay, that didn't fix anything, did it? Interesting. It's acting like the inventory group has no GUI attached. Okay, I must be screwing up the wiring on this somehow. Definitely not plug and play. There's definitely a lot of ways to make it go boom. Alright. That's meaningless. Alright, let's... Contacts manager. Oh. And there you go. Penny's missed you. Nice. Alright, go installer. Nice. Alright. So how about you, Charnix? What you been up to? I'm plugging away on a point-and-click adventure game. I don't know if you saw when I was here a couple of years ago, but this is actually a much more revamped version. It's point-and-click adventure game based on the 1960s TV show Lost in Space, which I do have a license for. I always feel compelled to say that every time, because that isn't very unusual for a indie to have a IP, but thrilled to have it. All right, so I'm not totally sure why it's complaining. We were doing well, and then it just suddenly started crapping out. I'm not sure. Since a couple of years now, takes time. It does, doesn't it? I read that somewhere. Yeah. Did you tell me about it before? Refresh my memory. It has been 2 years. I'm old and I drink a lot of diet soda, which means that my memory is on par with a goldfish. So bring me back. Let me know. Bring me up to speed. Yes, I did. I did, and we got that out the door. Uh, there's a long story attached with that, but I ended up sort of departing ways with the license holders. I wish them nothing but the best, of course, but yeah, not really associated with it post release. So, yeah. Okay. I have no idea what went wrong. So, let me try this. Let me try. I'm going to remove. Excuse me. Alright, so we're missing some contacts here too, which is not good. I'm just going to remove those. Alright, that's okay. Alright, so I'm going to remove these items so I don't start with anything in my hands. Let's start that way. I don't think this is going to change anything, but I'm curious about is if it's just the claw. Okay, yeah, see, that just worked. Interesting. I find that very interesting. Alright. I shouldn't actually be in here because I don't have the crowbar yet, so I'm kind of cheating. So let's get the, I think the crowbar's in here. Yep, got the crowbar. Oh, there it is. Okay, so, all right. Interesting. All right. All right, so I might have to ask up on that to figure out, my buddy Rich, to figure out why when I add a second item to inventory, it basically craps the bed. Let's see, let's try this. Still curious if it is just the second item being added to inventory or what's triggering, because it's weird. It like works at first and then it crashes and burns. So, whoa, that was the wrong thing to grab. I just like grabbed the tablecloth and yanked it and all the plates went flying there. There we go. All right. I was trying to do this. Get out of 2D mode. Grab him. That's what I was trying to do. There we go. But yeah, if you're curious about the Troubles game, the Troubles, it is now available for free on both iOS and Android, and it is still for sale on Steam. So there you go. There's a plug for it. Oh, wait. Gonna come over here. Boom. I got a battery pack. Okay. So that's a start. Okay, so that's interesting. I can pick up 2 items, but it's when I pick up the 3rd item, is that when it freaks out? If that's the case, maybe it's something like the 3rd position isn't assigned. That would make sense because I had 2 items before, so I think we might be onto something here. So if we look in here, this is going to add the 3rd item, and there it is. Okay. Good. So apparently there's something about, let me find where I'm going here. So under inventory, I am not finding it. Where'd it go? Is it? Oh, inventory. It's just staring me in the face. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. $10. Yeah, that's bizarre. So there's something about that 3rd slot that is absolutely hating. Oh, combined top text. There's something missing. Oh, look at that. Wait a sec. Oh, because I'm redundant. That's why that's why I couldn't understand. So it's inventory GUI versus inventory group. I thought it was missing. It was there the whole time, and I was trying to replicate it. That's why it's erroring, because I'm an idiot. Okay, we've established that, as if there was a doubt. Okay, so it's here. So just by removing that stupid redundant script. Okay, so let's check this out. So we find the battery, right? So if we come over here and we try to apply the battery, as I keep saying, all the animation is missing in the cutscenes. That's coming later. I'm just fleshing out the puzzles right now and the interactions. It's over here, isn't it? And then like the debris pile is obviously placeholder. It's really ugly, but it's a decent start. That's so bizarre that it still was able to get 2 pieces before it freaked out. Okay, here's the big question mark. Is it going to behave now? And there it is. That was it. Because I was creating redundant script. Because I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm an idiot. Yeah, okay. Good. So we have that. And now we need to find... Boom. Try that. Once again, missing a really cool animation where he struggles with the crowbar and then falls over and hits that debris and then sees the panel there, and it's like, oh hey, panel. Oh hey, minigame puzzle. Because it is a point-and-click adventure game. What would a point-and-click adventure game be without minigame puzzles? And of course, if you hate it, you can always skip it like that. But I know the guy that made this, so I know the solution pretty easily. There you go. And then he's like opening the door there. And then we come in here and look at that. I'm also going to add a cabinet. That's on my to-do list today. We'll see if I get to it. So he picks this up. There you go. So, oops. So if I do that, nope. Okay. That ain't working yet. So I got to figure out how, because that should actually work. So I thought I had a scriptable aftermath crafting. Oh, because I didn't put it in the database yet. Recipes. I like that. That's such a cool way of doing it. There. All right. So boom. So if you choose those two, once again, this is where Rich's work is just so elegant. Oh yeah, please do. Yeah, give it a yeah. It's a short demo. It take anywhere between 15 to 25 minutes, depending on how well you find the little things and what order you do things. But yeah, give it a play and come back and tell me what you think. I'll be right here. I won't give any spoilers. You know, although the game itself actually has hints, so if you ever get stuck, you always have hints. You are never stuck in this game. And eventually, we will actually have a movie mode where the game just plays itself. And those are for fans of Lost in Space that are not gamers in any sense of the word. They just want to watch it like a new season. They will have that option. Not there yet, but that is coming. Okay. So that should make it so. Okay, I'm going to cheat now because I don't want to have to go through all those steps again to get those pieces. Let's bounce back up here. Inventory. There we go. So let's get a couple of held items. We're going to start with the robot claw. And then we're going to add. Who are we adding? Gripping pole. So if we're lucky, try combine. Boom. Look at that. All right. Now it just broke because I don't actually have a icon for that. I can't reach it from here. Gripping pole. Okay, that's random. I'm not sure where. Oh, because I haven't made the. Oh, that's right. Because I've not made the. That's great. I haven't made the text for that yet, I think. So as a result, it defaulted to something else. You don't have to go home, but you can't reach here. Okay. All right. So, oh, but I did actually add that. I did. So I already created the icon earlier today. Images for Atlas. Icons, Aftermath. I thought I did. Oh, no, I just made the object. I haven't actually made the icon yet. Duh. Let's do that now. So we'll go over to the empty scene. Save, definitely save. All right. We already made an icon for the bucket, so he can go away. Let's see. Gripping pole and unconnected. Ow. It lost all of its textures. So let's go to materials. That didn't do it. Yeah, there's one. There we go. And then gripping. Nope, that ain't it. Not it either. Okay, I made one. Thought I did. Huh. Oh shoot, it's all one object now. Oh, that was stupid. What were you thinking, idiot? Alright. So that was so short-sighted. Alright, let me go back. Yeah. Alright. So I'm going to just make it two materials. That's the simplest way to make this behave. Make sure I got everybody. This is not Maya. This is Lightwave. If you don't know what light wave is, that means you're under the age of 50. All right, surface. Wow. Okay. Oh, I need to consolidate the UVs. Ah, crap. Yep. Unfortunately, Lightwave is not easy at doing this right here, but I don't want to do this. Surface. Gripping pull. Okay. So see if it can take robot. I don't think a copy paste works, but no, I didn't think so. Oh, I remember how to do this. It's been a while. Let's go Windows. Ivy is Will using one of the robot's claws for the gripping pull? Yes, as a matter of fact, it's one of his spares. It's one of his spares. He still very much has his still. Let's see. So if I switch back, I'll say, yeah, let me save that. So, and if you don't know the context, the idea is that Will snuck out during the night and didn't think he'd be gone long, but he actually got trapped by somebody in a cave. And when he came back, he had turned off the shield generator, which is still damaged now. And you can see that robot has been messed with. So, but yeah, he still has both of his claws are intact. So it specifically says, you know, his spare claw. You love that? Yeah, it's funny because it's one of those things that you know, it's Will's just kind of trying to be his own man a little bit more, you know, sowing his oats a little bit, but you know, because he's been spending too much time with Dr. Smith, so he's, you know, but the whole point of the game, the whole storyline is the fact that this is the consequence of his actions. You know, is the fact that Robot is out of commission. The rest of the crew members are completely missing. Although, actually, when we get into the Jupiter 2 and we get downstairs, which, by the way, you'll appreciate this if you have not seen it yet. Let's do this. Is the fact that he's not totally alone. Once he gets inside and he gets down to the, manages to get down to the lower level, he will actually find Dr. Smith hiding in a closet, although he says he was actually doing a strategic retreat. So it'll end up being the three of you that go on the mission of rescuing everybody. Will kind of owning up to his mistake and also kind of growing a little bit and also finding out who's behind the whole thing. All of them will involve villains from the original show. Yeah, and I can't wait to finish it. So you can see here, I'll make this larger for you to see. There you go. So here is the interior of the Jupiter 2. As you can see, it's smoking and that kind of stuff. It's really kind of dark except for the sunlight coming in. Thank you. I will take credit for modeling it. Because there's so many fans that have made so many models, it was pretty easy to, not easy, but it was a lot easier than it could have been to make a model that like matches the original look, you know, because everyone had done so much work, so there's so much data to pull from. But as you can see, nothing's lit up except for the sunlight that's peeking in, and you can see like the sunlight beams coming across. Zustovs, what's up, buddy? It's been a while. Looking good, thank you. That's very kind. But yeah, so there's no power, you know, so he can't go downstairs. And then right now there's a giant cylinder that's a placeholder. This is all in development, of course. But you see, this is actually blocking his way downstairs. So he needs to get down there to find out why there's no power in the ship, which he will find out when he gets down there eventually, that the batteries have all been stolen by one of the villains from the past. And that'll be the first mission that the three of you will go on together, is teaming up with you, Dr. Smith, and Robot, and tracking down who the individual was that did it. And yeah, you'll actually, yeah, you'll appreciate it. It's actually Nerman, the miner, who is back. He has returned, and once again, he's doing his mining thing. But what's weird is when you meet him, for you, it's the second time, right? You still recognize him from before, but he doesn't recognize you, and that's the big mystery. It's almost like he has no recollection of you, and that's the weird thing about it, So that's going to be a continuing theme throughout the entire game. So there you go. There is a quick little introduction, and look at this. You actually get to the storage closet. Niram. Sorry, I said Nerman, didn't I? Sorry, I mispronounced that. Niram. Yes. Yes. With his cheating card games with Dr. Smith. Because Dr. Smith can never resist a rigged card game because he's Dr. Smith. Yeah, I know, exactly. Yep. Well, he's back, and he's doing it all over again. So that was so what the license does. Just to give this more context, so the license says that I'm not allowed to create new canon. So the Jupiter 2 will not make it home, at least not in our game. Unfortunately, that's just one of the rules, and I understand that because that's that you don't want to like step on toes and take away that as a future item. But they did allow us to bring back any classic villains that we want to, and we already have a group of them. And depending on how things go, that may expand too, if budget permits, and all that kind of stuff. But that's gonna be the fun thing. You're gonna get to see if you actually look at the Lost in Space game .com. Here, I'll type that in for you just in case. Whoops, Lost in Space game. There you go. You can actually find some pictures, and you'll recognize some of the classic villains. So we have the Keeper, we have invaders from the Fifth Dimension, Sadakons, and and of course you got to bring the Cyclops back. So the Cyclops is going to make a return appearance later on in the game as well. But that all comes up at some point. But initially, we're going to deal with the miner. So. And then the game will be broken up in segments, and the idea here is this first segment is going to be called What's Yours is Miner. So there's a nice little callback to the miner. Just wishlisted. Sweet. Thank you so much for the wish list, buddy. I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. All right. So yes. So to answer your question, that's the idea is that because the game will be mostly like stories, with occasional puzzles. And if you ever get stuck, there'll always be a oops, where's my hint? There you go. There's gonna be a hint system. Oh, and there's everyone else. There's the classic family photo, which that's actually we replicated the publicity shot of all of them together. So we try to make it as close as possible, with all their season 3 outfits, which is just I love those outfits. But, yeah, so if you ever get stuck, there'll always be a hint system. And if you're ever messing with a puzzle, and if it ever confuses you, you can actually bypass the puzzle. So you'll never be stuck in this game. Well, it's not going to be a lot. It's going to be 5 episodes. In each episode, the target is to have it take between 1.5 hours to 2 hours to complete. So that's the goal. Yeah, you too. Yeah, but so yeah, that's the ultimate objective. So it can't be like the original show because back then like seasons were like 30 episodes long or something like that. It was crazy, right? It was I'm so bad at puzzles, but here's the thing. It's if you look at it, like I'll show you like one of the puzzle examples here. So if we come back in, oh shoot, let me restart here. This is a puzzle that we just started developing, and I'm still missing the crowbar. Let me add that manually so I can just jump right into this. But yeah, I'll show you a puzzle to give you an idea of what we're talking about here. And let me remove the crowbar and that, and we'll add... the pole and the claw. Put the crowbar in there. There we go. So, and then here we go. I mean, you can tell me, was there any point they ever went inside the storage closet in the show? I don't know if they ever did. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of a fun moment that we get to, explore the closet at least a little bit. Right now, a lot of this is still placeholder. So for example, I'm going to try and use the crowbar on the door, and there's a missing animation here. So the idea is that he tries to open up the door with the crowbar, he slips, and then there's debris that he knocks out of the way and finds this panel that is manual panel to open the door. So here's an example of one of the puzzles. And you can see the idea is that you're just trying to put the pieces into place like that. And you can always test it. You can just pull the handle. Was ever inside it? Yeah. Yeah, you can see it. You can see the closed door, but I don't remember any time where you saw the door open, but I may be wrong there. So here's an example. So there you go. So obviously the objective here is that you want this gear to be turning. So then when you pull the handle, it would open the door. So then it's just a matter of trial and error of trying to put the pieces into place, like so, like that. And you can try and come over here, put it in. Yep. And then you get close. Look at that. But yep, that's not going to do it. So that's an example of one of the puzzles. So, oh, and the reluctant stowaway? Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah. The, the original, yeah, the alternate pilot, right? Yeah. Exactly. So, and they'll actually start off pretty simple. You know what? Here you go. While Trinex is actually playing the demo right now, I'll jump back over here. And should I save? Yeah, I'll save. What the heck? So, actually, if you want, so yeah, if you're curious, I could actually just kind of play the. Well, you know what? Now let's just jump in right here. So, there you go. So, I'll turn up the volume there.
Wow. Look at this.
Oh, you did? You played the demo too? Okay, so then you remember. Okay. In that case, I'll skip ahead then. So this is redundant. You probably remember this. But I was just going to say, here's another example of a puzzle. Oh, wow. Okay, that's a... Look at that. The cave's still shaking, even though it shouldn't be. I got to make note of that. The demo? Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, I've said this a couple of times. Generally speaking, this genre of game, the point-and-click adventure game, is never a big seller. And that was actually a conscious choice. We could have made a game that was more arcade, but we knew that the fans of the show were not going to be arcade players. So that's why we went this route, so we can actually tell, like, what I lovingly refer to as Season 4 of the show, right? It's a whole new adventure with all the characters you love. So that was our choice, and, I'm hoping it works out well for us. But so yeah, if you played the demo, then you probably did this. But as I said, at any point, if you ever hate one of the puzzles and it's just driving you crazy, you can just always come down here and just hit skip. Boom. Anything that's lost in space, I'll play. Awesome. Let's see. Oops, did I break? Oh, there it goes. Yep. Yeah. So that's, and then this one, and once again, if you're ever in a situation, excuse me, Jay's on the Moon. Yeah, 2 years. Yeah, I was working on the Troubles game. Absolutely. Ivy, sure, of course. Happy to show. Excuse me. Yeah, so we finished that. We finished Troubles. The game is released on iOS, Android, and for PC. And we wish the Trouble guys, the Trouble Toys guys, best of luck. But we've actually kind of split away, and we're not actually working on the Trouble game anymore. We're fully focused on Lost in Space these days. We'll play tonight. You need to look for sure. Thank you. Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm glad you think so. So yeah, this is what I was talking about. So if Ivy, I don't know if you saw this, we're going to make sure that it's really easy to find this hint system. But if you ever get stuck, it's a 3-tiered hint system. So it'll start with, this is an updated version, but right now the hint system is non-functioning, so I can't show you. But in the demo version, it very much works. So it would, the first one would be a very subtle saying, giving you an idea what your next task should be. And then the second hint will be a little more obvious, and the third one will just flat out say, hey, go do this. So as I'm saying, oh yeah, sure, you're welcome. Yeah, it's one of those things that I play a lot of these type of games. I love point-and-click adventure games, and there's so many times where I'll get stuck, and I felt like I've done absolutely everything. And now you have to sort of like resort to watching a YouTube video. I played again later. That's awesome. Love the look of the game. Reminds me of Sam & Max games. Thank you. We're definitely going for, I mean, I like to say the LucasArts look, but also, the original Telltale before they started introducing QuickTime events. But yeah, thanks for that. All right, let me jump back over to Aftermath. So this is what follows after you escape out of the, let me switch environments. So after you escape out of that cave, you get back to find everyone missing, and you can actually see that Robot has been incapacitated. And over here you can see that the shield generator, the force field, is down and not functioning. The smoke coming off of it. And then some of the stuff is still placeholder. You can see we have like the little laser drill, which is dripping gooey, slippery oil. And yeah, obviously not even textured yet, but we have all that kind of stuff in here. And then these piles are obviously placeholder as well. We're going to replace that with new stuff. You like that too, Ivy? Thanks. Yeah, and then this is one of the objects that is also like in the drill site. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're trying to make all of the equipment be faithful as much as possible to the original show. So yeah, we're definitely have that kind of thing, and we're treating this as a transmitter. They never really reference what this specifically did in the show, but we're gonna actually sort of make it a transmitter. And you can see in the beginning, you see that a bucket and a power cord are hiding up there. Yeah, and that's, oh, you do, you remember that one? Yeah, it's like silver with like the red on here, these little tubes, I guess. Yeah, but not textured yet, so that's coming. But it's kind of cool when you're outside. You can still actually look inside the interior of the Jupiter too. Yeah, it did lots of it. Exactly, depending on what the script said, that's what it did that week. And of course you have Maureen's planters everywhere. Which have all been knocked over by some nefarious people. So, and we're still debating on specifically who actually sort of damaged and messed the place up. You love that? Thank you. Because all the characters, the garden, exactly. All the other characters are missing, and that's going to tie into some of the other villains that came back. But I have an idea. This isn't in stone, but I was thinking you'll see it in sort of like a flashback fashion, or somehow it'll get revealed that it wasn't the villains that ran off with the other family members that kind of trashed the place, because that's not what the villains would do. But it would be fun if the villains that actually did it would be Daniel J. Travante and his little motorcycle crew. If we can have that crew make a little appearance and show that they're the ones that, you could see them kind of just, going to town and messing with this kind of stuff. So that's kind of like what we're toying with right now, but that's not in stone. We'll have to see if that's going to be viable or not. But anyways, so I have that. Yeah. Not yet. Like I said, that's not in stone. That's not in stone. And also, um, we've focused less on the likeness on the secondary characters. So our license allows us to use the likeness of all the main Jupiter 2 characters. So we're trying very close here to look like Bill Mummy for Will Robinson, and Jonathan Harris very much for Dr. Smith, and that kind of thing. As you saw in that family photo. But, for like Niram the Miner, yeah, it'll look kind of like them, but it won't necessarily look exactly like them, but in the range thereof. But just letting you know. So I referenced Daniel just because I know, yeah, Mr. Hill Street Blues. So I think it's funny to see him back in the show back in the day. you know, Everyone that was someone was in Lost in Space at some point, I think. Play the demo? Oh, there you go. See what I tell you. It's not a very long one. I created an interactive movie. Sweet. That was the goal. Like I said, I'm really pitching this as season 4 of the show. That's what I really want it to feel like, just a whole new adventure, And as I keep saying, there will be a movie mode. If you do not want to play any of the game stuff, but you just want to sit back, eat popcorn, and watch this like an episode, that will be a choice, and it will just play the game for you. Thank you. It feels extremely polished. I will humbly say thank you. It's me and some other very talented people that are making that possible. But and it's also putting it in front of a lot of test people. So thank you. I do really genuinely appreciate that. All right, so let me try and think about what I was doing here. So what I want to do is combine. Oh, that's right. So let's come back here. I need to make an icon. So you're taking this gripping pole that didn't exist in the show before, but I needed something that reached up high. And at first I was just going to have like a magic gripping pole. Instantly wish list. Trinex, thank you so much. Dude, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thank you so much. Originally I was just going to have a gripping pole, but I just thought it'd be so much cooler if you had a situation where, you needed to like attach something, and I just thought it was a natural. Oh, it'd be cool if there was like a spare, if you had like a spare, like, sorry, I just get distracted there. A spare robot claw. So that's why I came with the idea, and then you'll combine it, and then you'll have to like plug in the wiring, and that'll be the next puzzle. And for that one, my notes say that we're going to do something, it'd be like an old mastermind, so you have to take the wires, plug them in, and that's on my to-do list, which obviously we'll not get to over the next hour. But yeah, thank you, Ivy, I appreciate that. But the idea was that you'll plug in the wires, and then you'll pull the handle, and then you'll get indications how many wires you have correct. So it'd be like 4 slots and 6 wires, and you have to wire that up. But once it's plugged in, then you will have save that, sure, why not? So this is what it's looking like beforehand. There you go. And oh, I didn't export it back out, did I? That's right. I went down a rabbit path there. I need to go ahead and make this as 2 materials, but for 1 UV. So let me do this. Vertex, yeah, this is what I want. So if we go texture, no, wait, how do I not have a vertex coming up there? So, okay, so it's robot and gripping pole. So I think if we just go into maps, nope. What I want to do is rename. Oh, crap. I haven't done this in a while. I'm trying to remember. It's not layers panel, is it? No. That's object. Duh. There's Process M. should be in here. Ah, there it is. Okay. It says texture, but it's actually the vertex map. So if, in theory, if I go like this, gripping pole, rename it, and they should become as one. And it didn't. Really? Oh. Wait. I think. Yeah, you can tell it's been a while since I've done this specifically. All right. So if I do it here, gripping pole. Yeah. Clear that out. All right. And now try this. Rename. Really? Oh, it's not rename. It's copy. It has been a while since I've done this. Oh, that's embarrassing. All right. So let's try this one last time. I think I got this nailed now. So if we copy, and then we copy to gripping pole, it will not overwrite, it will add. There. So now in theory, there it is. See, that's so easy, especially when you know what you're doing. So I'm going to clear that out because we don't need him anymore. That's good. So now what we have is two different textures with one UV, and that's what the gaming engine wants. Is it just doesn't like multiple UVs. So we'll copy, paste, so that should clear out the others. Good. That's exactly right. So then if we go gripping pole, UV, gripping pole, there, and then there we go. Okay. That's what we're trying to do. So unconnected, that guy. There we go. So now if we switch back, boom. All right, so then we should see two materials. Let's render two materials, bingo. So gripping pole is good, and then this is gonna be that's interesting. I'm not sure why that didn't work. All right, let's do it this way. Save this. Let's go back to Aftermath and find the robot. Oh, robot body? Yeah. That's strange. Materials, characters, robot. Okay, I thought that's what I was using. I'm not sure why that's not working. All right, I'm about to cheat here in a second. Unless, let's see. Okay, that's set the robot body. Correct. And that is set to gripping pole. So that's the way it should be. Oh, UV map, gripping pole. Oh no, I lost it. It didn't, okay. That's weird. Okay, let me redo it. See, this stuff is easy. I don't know why everyone doesn't do this. Actually, it's not that hard. It's just, just don't mess it up. All right. Let's go. Window. Text map. Robot. Copy. Call it. There it is. Okay. I think what happened is I had it in a different layer, and I fixed the other layer, but not this one. I think that's my mistake there. I've been using this program since '96. So, I mean, it's, what is that? Oh, wow. I just had to do the math. That's like 28 years I've been using this program. And I'm still messing up. It looks amazing. Thank you. Well, I mean, there's a bunch of other people that are helping out as well. I'm kind of sort of the top of the pyramid in theory, but there's a lot of other people that are doing fantastic stuff, especially the texturing. Texturing has always been my Achilles heel, and I'm very thankful to have some people that really know what they're doing on that. Oh, thank you. Now I'm okay. Now I'm feeling extra old. Oh, that's great though. I mean, so you're still young, but still a fan of Lost in Space. That is so cool to see. All right, so grip and pull, unconnected claw. There. Try one more time. There it is. See how easy that was? It's so beautiful. Oh, thanks. I mean, it's amazing what you can do with the tools these days. And I'm using Unity. I know a lot of people these days like to use Unreal because you get such photoreal kind of looks to it. But Unity, I think, is a better tool for smaller crews. But, yes. Thanks. All right, so let me see how I want to do this. I got to put this in a decent space so you can see. Wait, is somebody casting a shadow? Or is that... Okay, somebody's casting a shadow here. It's oh, the decal projector. That's funny. I was testing, so when Will walks around, he actually has like this little magic box that looks for a ground, and if he sees the ground, it'll put a shadow on it. So that's what it's doing right here. That's Will's shadow. So let me hide that. There we go. Let me just find a good angle here. Make this global so I can kind of bring it down like that, like so. There you go. Lucini, what up, buddy? Hey, thanks for coming by. Oh, Trinex, sorry, I just saw that. How did you animate the cutscene? With Maya LT. I'll bring up a scene real quick. Heyo. Yeah, so most people have heard of Maya, but Maya LT was this great piece of software that it was a fraction of the price of Maya, and it does everything a game developer would want in terms of you can do the animation, all that kind of stuff. The only thing you can't do in Maya LT primarily is render, but you can export it out. No worries. What you watching? Still Ark or something else? I'll bring in something from recent. Climb ladder. How about that? Oh, really? Oh, okay. Let's try. How about? Don't save. There it goes. But the great thing is that my LT was so cheap, and I think they realized it because they've actually discontinued my LT. I'm grandfathered in for at least a little while longer, but you can't actually buy it anymore because it was such a great deal. So I'm using it while I still can. But the plus side is the fact that my LT has always been allowed to load a Maya scene as long as there's not anything in there that would make it blow up. But you couldn't take a Maya LT scene and load it in Maya until now. Since they've discontinued it, they've made that permissible. Permissible? Yeah. But anyway, so to answer your question, like here's an example of where he picks up the rock. There you go. So I'm animating it in Maya, which has been my daily tool for a quarter century or more than that now. Yeah. But no, 22. Let's see, when I 23, 21 years. I guess I've been using it. 21, 22 years. Still can't model in Maya. I can only animate in Maya. But anyways, but yeah, to answer your question. Let's see. Yeah, to answer your question, this is basically what Will looks like in his rig. Actually, this is uh, there was an older version of Will, and we're actually seeing two different rigs here. And so this is a bad example because we migrated to an updated version and we kind of wiped the slate clean. But I was using the old animation to drive the new rig. But so yeah, there you go. Hopefully that answered your question. That was a long-winded, convoluted way of saying my LT. That's a great question. So yeah, my day job has been animation professionally for the last quarter century, and as an animator, I take pride in hating motion capture. But I, as the also producer of this game, I had to bite the bullet and accept the fact that I was never going to be able to create all the animation and can't afford to bring on a lot of other animators because animators are expensive. so so I had to finally break down and accept the fact that I needed to bring in mocap. So we have a mocap suit and we do the initial performance, but we don't have a really high-end motion capture rig. So as a result, there's a lot of animation and cleanup on top of it. But it takes what have taken me like weeks of work and reduces it to days. So it's definitely worth the trade-off. It kills my pride. The animator in me hates the producer in me, absolutely despises him. But it was a necessary thing. All right. So, let me do this. Let me switch this to, where's my square? There we go. You know what? Actually, no, that doesn't matter. I'll just do it this way. And I'll just, yeah, that should be sufficient, I think. Excuse me. Yeah, that's good enough. All right, so what I'm going to do now is just fire up this little plugin. I love this plugin. And 1920. Yeah, you know what? It's going to shrink down to like 256. So we're just going to leave this like that. So I'm doing a screen capture, and the nice thing about it is that not only does it a screen capture, but it actually removes the background and makes it transparent. And that's exactly what we need. That's why I love this plugin. It's really nice. All right. All right, so we're going to go here. All right. So, yeah, I hope that answered your question there. All right, so now we're going to go open this in Photoshop. There you go. See? No background. And then now what we want to do is to make it GUI friendly perfectly. Oh, cool. There you go. Awesome. So what we want to do is leave a little room on the sides, like so. So it doesn't like get too big in the frame. And then more importantly is we want this to be the same height and width. That'll make the GUI behave better. So we'll go canvas size and switch pixels because I love pixels, like so. There you go. And I'll take this guy and kind of center him. I'm just eyeballing it. Doesn't have to be exact, just kind of close. There we go. And then at this point, all we do is we save it. Oh, oops. Save it in the right place. So let's go. Documents. No, not downloads. Desktop. PC. Documents. Ugh. Let's see. Lost in space. Assets. Images. GUI. Images. Icons. Still not there yet. Aftermath. There we are. See how easy that is? So yeah, there's the old gripping pole, and now we'll say call it gripping claw unconnected. Although this may not even be necessary because I'm probably going to push right into the puzzle mode for this anyways. But it's good to have it. All right. So now if we come back here into our images for Atlas, icons, Aftermath, and then we right click and we're going to put it into our Atlas Maker. That's not the right place. Inventory. There we go. So yeah, we're still developing the Aftermath scene. I'm calling it the Aftermath scene since it's the aftermath of Will sneaking out and the consequences of his actions. But you see we're still getting started, so there's not a lot of inventory items yet. But we'll hit add. Oh, wait. No. That's wrong on about 4 different levels. So let me undo that. That was a little premature. We need to do 2 things first. So first we need to go back in here. Excuse me. And first thing is we need to go ahead and make him like 256. Shrink him down. Oh, that's what I want this guy. So it's global, so it does it for all the different formats. So now it's going to be much smaller. It's 85K, so it's nice and small. And then also I need to change the name. Gripping claw unconnected. It's a bit of a mouthful, but I'll leave that because I'm still not sure if that's what we're gonna even see. But all right, so now we can do this in GUI right here. Update. There. So now if we look, if you're curious, so what we're doing here is all of these little icons, they all go on the same image. And the nice thing is that that's one less thing that all these being on there, that means that the computer can access all these images with just one pass. And that's key. The fewer times that the computer has to redraw the screen, the faster it gets. Just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about, for those that don't live and breathe game development, that have a normal life, I'll save that. So for example here, if we bring up the stats, we'll see that, yeah, set pass calls, it's fluctuating between 198 and 200. That's a lot. So it's basically, there's layers that it's processing every frame at 60 frames a second. And right now it's toggling between 190 and 200. So that's a lot. It's fine for a PC game, but yeah, if we were trying to aim for mobile, which is one of the reasons why we've no longer developing for mobile games, and also because it's impossible to earn a living making a mobile game these days, at least one that you actually make people pay for. But anyways, that was the whole description of why we use Atlas maps, in case you cared. All right, so now we can combine that. Scriptable objects, inventory. We're going to duplicate him. Gripping claw unconnected id. Oh, that's wrong. Anyways, it should be gripping claw, which doesn't exist yet. All right, and I need to add localized names for everything. I have to come back and do that. Gotta remember that. Yeah, you see the whole campsite? Yeah, I'm debating whether or not we're actually going to be able to get around to the backside. I may just kind of, right now, it sort of blocks you off. you know. But I mean, this is still a lot further around, and it gives us. And then you can see like there's the rock faces over here that kind of puts us in an enclosed area. But yeah, same thing on this side as well. So kind of the same thing. So in theory, I can still kind of go back there, but you see the camera stops following. So we'll probably put some artificial blocking in there, but it's just, you know, for game reasons, it's better just to have a confined area, you know. Yeah, does that make sense? Yeah. But and then if you walk into objects, you can see like, and the grass actually distorts, you know, so it just has a nice feel. Although if you run through it, it's kind of hyper. It's kind of funny. Here we go, watch. Oops, if I can, I keep missing it. There you go. See, it like flickers, just because you're running by it so fast, so it doesn't have a chance to do their usual distortion. But yeah, it's just a nice little touch. And that's done with a shader, which is a fancy way of saying that the thing that's drawing the image. So the nice thing is that it doesn't require any like bones or any deformation, that kind of stuff. It just happens, and it's the term is performant. It just means that it can do a lot of it without slowing down. Oh, hey, look at that. Turbo X just subscribed. Turbo X, thank you so much for the follow. Oh, by the way, also I forgot to mention there was an individual whose name I can't even read. It's KPBIM that subscribed before I went on the air. So very big thanks to him as well. But thanks for that. Thank you. Appreciate that. I think it popped up, didn't it? I missed it. I heard the sound, but I didn't see the screen. Okay. So let's see. Let me check my inventory. I'm gonna cheat this again and put all the items in place and see if that's gonna work for us. Okay, remove the crowbar. I don't need that. What I want specifically is the robot claw and the gripping pole. Just do it this way. Oops. Learn how to spell. Gripping pole. All right. So if you combine that, boom, success. Yeah, that's because I gotta create gripping pole. Actually, that should. Oh no, that's not right because it's gripping pole, gripping pole, gripping claw. I don't want to call it. Yeah, because it transforms into the gripping claw unconnected. I'm so confused in my own game. That's a bad sign. All right, let's try this. Aftermath, crafting recipes. No, so it's not going to be grip. It's going to be gripping claw unconnected. That's the correct thing. And it removes both. So, in theory, it should see that now. There it is. There, because we just set it up correctly. Not sure why it's got little white edges there. It's kind of cute. It looks like a lighting highlight or something. Oh, it's a spare claw. So that's why it's a spare, because it's been roughed up too much. So that's my excuse, and I'm sticking with it. I do need to change this. I can't reach it from here, gripping pole. That's not right. That means I just need to add some more stuff. But description, a scriptable object of that inventory. Yeah, I gotta fix that. But you know what? I'm gonna duck out for just a second, fill my drink back up. But I'll come back and do a little more work. So in the meantime, don't forget, if you want to play with my dog Penny, just type in the chat. What is that? Exclamation mark toss disc, and you can actually throw the disc for her. But yep, hang tight. I'll put this up here. Let's see, that's vertical, so I go that way. Hang tight, and there you go. Trinex knows it. All right, I'll be right back. Hang tight. All right, we're back. There you go. See, Penny's getting all kinds of attention now. Don't need me here. You just let Penny play the whole time. Let me turn that back off. There we go. Okay. Oh, so I was gonna mention. I forgot to do this earlier, but yeah, if you are a fellow Lost in Space fan, one thing that would be a tremendous help is reaching out to the if you are a member of like any of the Lost in Space Facebook groups, definitely please try and mention it occasionally. I've tried gingerly to do it, but I've gotten scolded sometimes because I've been accused of trying to sell the game, and it's like, well, the game's not for sale yet, but I just want to share it with my fellow Lost in Space fans, So, anyways, that's only if you are actually on any of those Facebook groups. But if you want to just kind of go, hey guys, that somebody's making a game based on our show here, that would be greatly, greatly appreciated. So, anyways, where's my gamepad? There we go. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna fix the text here, weren't we? they're toxic. It's really strange. There's a range, isn't there? There's a wide range of. I mean, some of them are super specific. That yeah, turn out. Oh, really? Yeah, there's some that like really specific that you only show like random photographs from the show, and then there's others that you can only show your own personal items that you've made and that kind of thing. But I mean, I kind of understand where they're coming from, where they want to be protective, but at the same time, it's like, this is for you guys. I want you guys to know about it. Uh, had you had yeah, really, yeah, yeah. I'm sorry to hear that. That's a shame. It's just there's something about that level of anonymity that people feel a lot more open to saying stuff they shouldn't. But there you go. This isn't anonymity, so I'm not saying anything bad. Okay, so what we're gonna do here is gripping claw unconnected. Yeah, it really is. Yeah, that was the idea. That it was when I first approached uh, Derek, the gentleman that represents the intellectual property. That was the key thing I was kind of going after was just to say that I would love to tell a new story on it. All right. So this is our tool we use for adding all of the text that goes on the screen. And it's a plugin that allows us to localize it really not easy, but easier. So it's a great way of creating like a spreadsheet. So then we can hand this stuff off to localizing individuals, and they can do it for other languages later on. Oh, really? Yeah. And I'm sure people started getting rude and making all kinds of inappropriate comments and stuff like that because they can. So if that's what happened, I'm very sorry to hear that. Okay. So intro. So it's aftermath item. So let me come down here. We're gonna create a new item. I'm gonna call it aftermath. So the way this works is you first name the scene, which is aftermath, and then in this case we need to add the information for the unconnected claw. So that goes under item. Excuse me. Yeah, I am too. I mean, it's it was a funny story that I'm here in Las Vegas. There you go. There's personal information, but I live in Las Vegas and we have a licensing convention here that's in town. And that was one of those things I just kind of went to the convention to see what was out there and didn't actually realize that Irwin Allen's booth was there. And I just was like flabbergasted. I just walked up and I just went, you know what? Look, small game developer, but I grew up on the show. I know it like the back of my hand, and I would love to make a game on it. And I'm currently making a game on Tribble. So and that's how the conversation started. Into this Lost in Space universe. I know it's part of it for me is the fun of being able to walk around, right, throughout the Jupiter 2 and explore it a little bit, I mean, that's for me, that's part of the fun too, although it gets challenging because when you start going downstairs into the lower levels, and into these different things, it's like, how does it fit in that ship? I mean, I always joke that it was sort of like the American TARDIS, there's infinite room inside there. But yeah. But yeah, and then we also the goal is to have the inclusion of the chariot as well as the jetpack, so I mean, and the shuttle pod. So that will come into play as well. So there's gonna be I know, right? Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah, it's like we need this, but it doesn't fit in the ship. Who cares? Right? They traveled the other side of the universe. They landed on an alien planet, and they can breathe. So if they can breathe on an alien planet, then they can have a chariot that's just tucked away in the ship somewhere. Got it, boss. That makes sense. Yes, the pod too. Because if you look on the webpage, once again, going back to lostinsspacegame.com, there's a picture of John, who's frozen, on that prison barge in space. If you remember the one that had Robbie the Robot in that episode as well, right? And the premise there will be the fact that he gets mistaken for the evil version of himself. Remember the episodes where he and Don were like the bad guys, right? And Don had like the little the messed up eye kind of stuff, and he gets captured by like the marshal kind of thing and taken in the prison ship, and you have to rescue him in space, which means that the Jupiter 2 will at least have to get a little ways off the ground, and then you'll take the shuttle over to there to try and rescue him. So it's fun because we're taking the old story, but in this case, instead of Dr. Smith getting stuck on the platform because he's trying to steal pearls because he's a greedy doofus. Yeah, Any Manner John, thank you. Yes, exactly. So it's going to be the mistaken version of him, right? So obviously our John is not that John, but he's going to be mistaken, so you are going to have to rescue him. But it's fun because we're taking that Any Manner John and like doing a callback to the prison ship, right? Yeah, that's going to be fun. Although we would not have Robbie Robot in there. That was like the first thing I asked. Is like, are we allowed to use Robbie? And he looked at me and just went, no. It's like, okay. I didn't think we would. I didn't think, but I had to ask, But yeah, Robbie was not a part of the official Lost in Space universe and license, so don't get that. Nope. If I make a Forbidden Planet game someday, then maybe, but dare to dream. Okay, so this is we'll call it Gripping Claw Unconnected, like so. I know I was disappointed too, but not surprised. But I mean, that's fine. I mean, there's so much that we get to pull from. And also, one of the things, too, I don't think I mentioned was the fact that if you've played the demo, you hear the voices. That's original dialogue from the ship, from the show, rather. So all the people talking, all the main characters talking are the original voice, with the exception of Will Robinson, because he's talking all the time, and there's not enough content from the show to cover it. So unfortunately, in that case, we're not able to use Bill Mummy's original voice, but I think we have a kid voice that works really well, because we've demoed the game for quite a while now. I mean, the demos have been playing for like well over a year and a half now, and even Lost in Space fans, I've not had one yet that said that doesn't sound like Will. So I think we have a good alternative there. But everyone else, we're just using segments from different episodes and sort of shoehorning it together to make dialogue for all the other characters, which is tricky, but it's really cool. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and it's just it's fun, but it's so challenging. I mean, you'll see like like when Maureen turns to Dr. Smith and says, "Dr. Smith, could you help me over here?" Right? Dr. Smith and "Could you help me over here" were not only not together, but they weren't even in the same episode. Totally different context, but just if it works together, then you have a whole new line. Yeah. Thanks. It's still, I mean, because if you think about it, that would be about the time. I mean, this is a little ways later, so I mean, this would be the time that he's sort of starting to grow into a man. So it's still a youthful voice, and it's not as it's not as low as, well, not nearly as season 2, but it's kind of on par with season 3. But thank you. I'm glad you appreciate it. Gripping Claw Unconnected. Oops. Do not need a carriage return there. Oh, and I do not need spaces. Let's do it this way. There we go. Okay. And then item description. I need to do that. Oh, shoot. I didn't mean to go away from that yet. So we say Aftermath. So if you ever wondered, when you hear that video games take like years to make, if you ever wonder, it's like, why does it take so long? You can see, everyone thinks that it's just like you hit a magic button and it just makes itself, but we're not there yet. AI may give us that at some time in the future, but there's still a lot of work to do this stuff currently. Item description, I think that's capitalized. How long after the end of season 3 is it set? That's a good question. I would ballpark it in like the idea of like 6 months to at most a year later. At most. So, I mean, not that far beyond it. Because if it's much further beyond, then Will would be a lot older, kind of like in the Netflix version. If you look at season 1 of Will Robinson in the Netflix version of Lost in Space, and you look at season 3, it almost looks like a different actor, because he's just absolutely just shot up in terms of just growing up. So, yeah, not that long after. Let's see. So this is unconnected. You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, so let's see. Okay. This will, okay, I'm just thinking this out loud. So the idea is it's a description for the gripping claw when it hasn't been connected yet. So you see the wire still exposed. So I'm just thinking this out loud. So you want a simple concise description, but that makes sense. This will, let's see. I want to say I can grab. I don't even know if I'm ever gonna show this though. I might be wasting my time. I can grab. Hi. That's terrible. To connect it first before I can. The more I think about it, the more I'm realizing this is actually a waste of time, because once you do this, connect it, it's going to go straight into the puzzle, and we're never going to actually see the gripping claw unconnected. Yeah, the new series. I was not a fan of the first season. I thought they kind of missed the mark on that. I thought they were too much into the family drama, too much soap opera. And like they were trying so hard to make all the different characters have equal amounts of screen time, which just is not what Lost in Space was all about. But I thought season 2 was much better in sort of shifting that direction. And season 3, I thought, was the perfect balance. We're having Will Robinson kind of have a similar arc like I have, where he's sort of like growing up a little bit, you know, and becoming his own man. You know, that's I thought they did a really nice job of doing a 3-season arc with the show. But yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree. You know, and I mean, it was kind of dramatic. Will Robinson, he might what? What was that, Lucchini? Okay. So yeah, I shouldn't actually probably be doing this. I should create one. Oh, got it. He might. Will he? Yeah. Okay, I got that. Yeah, but if it's Dr. Smith talking to him, then it's always William. William. He'd always like refer to him in that way. And then, of course, Will would always refer to him as Dr. Smith, where everyone else usually just calls him Smith. You know, in a really kind of disparaging fashion, you know. I guess Penny would say Dr. Smith out of respect, because kids had respect back then, you know, for elders. But yeah, I mean, definitely Don. You know, Don said Smith in such a way that it sounded like a swear word every time he said it. You know, there were, you know, no love loss, except for one episode where they became friends, and then the next episode they went back to being not friends. You appreciate that, Ivy, right? All right, so let me, since I'm here, you know what? I'm gonna just take this away. I'm gonna rename. Oh, wait. Yeah. Create, use. Yeah. Gripping claw. Is it use? No, that was wrong. Excuse me. Yes. Okay, so that didn't work. Let me rename. Create. I don't want to create a new one. Oh, it worked. Okay, good. Good. That's what I wanted. So yeah, I'm just coming to the realization that gripping claw unconnected is useless, because we're never going to see that object. That's just a transitional thing. So let me do this. I can grab. I can grab objects that are high up. That sounds, yeah, that sounds passable, I guess, right? It's not gonna, it's not gonna win me any writing competitions, but I can grab objects that are high up with it. Okay, how about that? Eye up. Nah, I'm going to leave it as is. I'm going to just not overthink it. It's good enough. So we'd be seeing a lot of the other characters too. So exciting to see everyone again. Yes. They will not have nearly as much screen time as the classic trio. You know, kind of like a regular episode. And part of that is also just the simple fact that because Will, Dr. Smith, and Robot were what 75% of the show, to be realistic, they really were 75%. That means that 75% of the dialogue I have to pull from the show is from those three. You know, so just trying to have a lot of conversations with those other characters becomes a bigger challenge because there's just not as much of them talking. You know, I mean, especially like Judy. You know, I mean, Judy had a couple of standout episodes where she was more prominent, but generally speaking, you know, she would just sort of kind of go, you know, should I get the laundry, Mom? You know, or should I help start dinner? You know, I mean, there's not a lot to pull from. So, anyways, yes, there will be interactions with them. We're still debating whether or not there'll be elements where you get to actually play as those characters. But they will definitely have lots of moments in cutscenes. So, yeah, we're definitely going to have lots, you know, and ultimately, you know, no spoilers, of course, but, you know, everyone's going to come back in the end and, you know, be happy, except for Dr. Smith because he's never happy. More Judy episodes. And Judy and Dawn, I know. Yeah, I know. Penny, I loved it. Yeah, she really had some fun ones. You know, a couple of episodes. I'm blanking on his name, but when he ends up, she has the one friend and ends up, he has the kitten that becomes the tiger, and ended up seeing him. It's so funny that he ended up being the lawyer in the TV series Raising Hope. You know, it was one of the things that it's just like I was curious. It's like, what did he move on to after that? And I realized that I watched that entire show and had him on there repeatedly, never realizing that that was, you know, the same person all those years later. But yeah, so Penny, there's a little more, you know, content, you know. J5. There you go. Yes. Wow. You really do know this stuff. You're a great consultant. All right. Gripping claw item description. All right. And let's go. All right. Oops. There we go. Item. Gripping claw. Okay, so this we want to change as well. Rename. And then we'll say create. Like so. And whoops. Yeah, I don't think I explained. I've talked about it before, but I've explained today the fact that the show was off the air just shortly before I was born, but as a result, it was the beginning of reruns. So as a kid, I was just inundated with Lost in Space episodes. So I mean, I grew up watching the show. When I told Derek, the IP holder, when I told him that I grew up watching the show, that was not a lie. I mean, I watched it incessantly as a kid, but it was very disjointed because the studio, the TV station didn't care. So all the shows would be out of order. You know, here's a black and white episode, which they didn't play many of those, but then they would like suddenly bounce to a color one, and it'd just be all over the place. You know, not that the show was big on continuity, anyways. There was, you know, that was before that was popular of having like a continuous line of stuff happening. All right, so let's see. I don't know if I updated those, but let me do that just to be safe. All right, so that's good. So yeah, gripping claw. Yeah, I think that's a good enough name. So what I'm going to do is actually not even add it to the inventory. I think that's what I'll do. Yeah, so true. Yeah, I mean, that's a much more common thing that I don't remember I mean, aside from soap operas, I don't remember shows really having a continuation arc up until like the 80s. You know, Wise Guy. Wise Guy was one that would actually have an entire season devoted to one storyline, which was just so revolutionary at the time. You know, I mean, completely common nowadays, but that was, groundbreaking. But yeah, I appreciated that more. I like having a continuing story, that you can connect to. All right. So let me think here. Because what I'm trying to do is sort of break the rules. I think what I'll do is cheat and give you the connected one, but it doesn't work because it has to go right into the cutscene. I think that's what we'll do. Yeah, I'm thinking out loud, but this will make sense here in a second. So what we'll do is we'll go Aftermath, crafting recipes. There you go. So yeah, right now if you combine the gripping pole with the claw, you get the unconnected claw. But I'm going to change that and go straight to the claw. And yeah, because you get it and it'll immediately go into the puzzle, which I haven't made yet. That was the Mastermind game I was talking about doing. Okay. So let me check to see if it's behaving. Let's go combine. Oh, okay. I gotta rename the icon, I think. Because it's not seen that. Oh, that's right. I don't have it yet. Or do I? Oh, it's not gripping pole. It's gripping claw. That's my mistake. Let me come back up here. Yeah, gripping claw. Okay. It felt like the first 5 Lost Space episodes are kind of like one story, so that's exciting. Yeah. Well, it's definitely going to be a whole storyline. I mean, the whole story will be just the 3 of you, right? Will, Dr. Smith, and Robot trying to rescue all the other family members, And part of the challenge is coming up with a MacGuffin that allows Don and John, when they're rescued, to be okay, but not okay enough that they can just take over and do everything, because the whole point is to have Will kind of stepping up and be his own man. So we're batting around different ideas on how that's going to play. That they're safe, but they're not exactly back 100%. They're not in charge yet. By the end of the game, of course, they're obviously back in charge with no problem. But of course, Dr. Smith is not going to step up and, and take charge of anything. Okay, so I'm just going to delete the claw unconnected because that's pointless. I should have thought that through a bit better. But then the next question is, let's see. Oh, that's why. So Aftermath contact, not contact. Aftermath item, gripping claw. Aftermath item. Oops, not item. Description. Aftermath description. Gripping claw. Ooh. Okay, I don't have. I should have that. Okay. I think that's okay. But, because I don't have. Let's do this. Let's go back into our GUI. It's Aftermath. Yeah. So I need to go ahead and render the gripping claw. Go back to empty. Go ahead and borrow his position. Copy component. All right. Hide him. Okay, I guess I did not. Oops. Got the pole, claw. Oh, okay. I need to make it. Okay, that's fine. This is easy enough. All I gotta do is this. Delete all those guys. Yeah. There you go. So so the claw's in place, and you'd have the grip, and it would open and close the claw. Let's see. Claw. I'm calling it proxy because this is placeholder. I will probably send these models out and have them rebuilt because I just slapped these together. Yeah, I didn't put much effort into it, especially on the texturing side. So hence why I'm calling them proxies. All right. Oops. There. He snaps into place, and we'll borrow pole. Oops. There we go. That's what we need. Screenshot. Same thing. Make that quick screenshot. And we're done. Okay. All right. There we go. Same thing I did before. Just close this in a little bit. Yeah. No. Actually, I don't like that. That's a little too close on this side. Nitpick. Just trying to make sure I have enough space so when it gets in the little holder, it doesn't like go past the edges. All right, so now let's go canvas size. Same thing I was doing before. 1548, like so. Grab this guy and just kind of move him center-ish, like that. Yeah. Oops. And then there we go. Images, GUI, icons, aftermath. There it is. So we're just. Oops, I need that space, don't I? Gripping claw. There it is. All right, home stretch here. Okay, so let's go back to here. I'm gonna put him in here, the Atlas Maker. Oh, and let's do this. Let's go ahead and, yeah, gripping claw unconnected. We don't need it, so we'll just kill that to steal its space. But before I actually do that, let me go ahead and make sure I shrink them down. Like I said, 2K is definitely too big. But it's nice to render larger, and then it just shrinks down, so you just have nice resolution when it gets shrunk down. There. All right, so now let me double check that I have the crafting recipe. Pole claw becomes gripping claw. Okay, so in theory this might work. All right. And boom, perfect. Look at that. There, perfect. See, it says I can grab objects that are higher. That's exact. Okay, so we won't actually get to see that at first, because what will happen is we'll immediately, once he does that, it's going to jump into a cutscene, which is a whole nother beast. Not a cutscene, rather, but a whole new puzzle. And that takes a long time to set up. So I'm going to go ahead and start that up here in a moment. But I think I'm actually going to... Yay! I finally pulled it off. Yeah, it's obviously smart to have everything, written out. But I'm a fan of sort of having the general idea and then adjusting on the fly, as you just saw here. So yeah, going down the path of the whole unconnected was a waste of time, but it's still good to test it, But yeah, we are at the 2-hour mark, so I think at this point I will be stopping down, because that is long enough of you guys hearing my voice, I'm sure, and I don't want to go hoarse or anything. And also, if you guys know my dog Penny there, that one you're playing fetch with, she is exceptionally good at telling time. And I can promise you she's probably outside the door, because she knows 4 o'clock when it rolls around, and she knows it's time to go catch the Frisbee for real in the backyard. So I will go ahead and shut down for now, but I will be back again tomorrow creating more Lost in Space content. Yeah, Ivy, thank you for joining in. I'm so happy you did. I'm so happy to talk Lost in Space stuff. Trinex, thank you. Well, Penny will definitely have fun. Yeah, thanks for joining, man. I appreciate you hanging out with me. And please, if you got nothing to do for a couple hours, or you just want background noise, I've been called worse than background noise. I'm doing this Monday through Friday, 2 to 4 my time, which is Pacific. And yeah, keep checking out, and also check out next week. Might have some fun stuff coming up. But you know what? That's a teaser. We'll see. But in the meantime, a lot more stuff to work on and a lot more stuff to share. So anyways, guys, have yourself a fantastic day, and hope to see you all tomorrow. And yeah, please, if you haven't done, do all the stuff like, the subscribe and all that kind of fun stuff. So it just helps the video get a little more exposure too. So the whole point of this is, well, number one, just to prove that I'm actually working, and number two, to hopefully get the word out, because I want all fellow Lost in Space fans to find out about this and get excited about it. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much. Have a great day, great night, great morning, wherever you are in the world.